You know that feeling, right? You're trying to find one specific piece of information, but you're just lost in a complete mess of files, folders, and documents that all contradict each other. It's digital chaos. We've all been there. But what if there was a system that's literally designed to bring perfect order to all that chaos? Well, that's exactly what a database management system, or DBMS, is all about. So let's dive in and see how it works. We are living in an ocean of data. I mean, seriously, from our own personal files to the gigantic systems that power, well, everything, information is everywhere. But here's the catch. Without a really smart way to manage it, that ocean of data turns into a swamp of confusion, fast. Okay, let's make this real for a second. Imagine you need to call an employee. Simple enough, right? But then you find two different spreadsheets. One has one phone number, the other has a different one. So, which one is correct? That tiny moment of frustration, that's a classic symptom of a much, much bigger problem. And this slide right here, it just perfectly breaks down that digital chaos. It all starts with data duplication, storing the same bit of info in a bunch of different places. And then, of course, those copies don't match up, which leads to inconsistency. That makes finding anything a nightmare of difficult access, and because related data is isolated in separate files, you can never see the whole picture. All of this leads to the biggest problem of all, major integrity issues, where you just can't trust your own information anymore. So how in the world do we fix this mess? Well, the solution is actually pretty cool. Instead of a chaotic pile of papers, just imagine a perfectly organized library run by a brilliant, super efficient digital librarian. And that, in a nutshell, is what a database is. It's not just a random folder stuffed with files. It's a structured system. Think of it like books on a library shelf, where every single piece of information has its own specific, logical place to live. And the database management system, the DBMS, that's our digital librarian. It's the software that stands between you and the database, making sure the entire library stays in perfect working order. It's the brains of the whole operation. And this is where it gets really good. Our librarian has superpowers, and they directly solve all those problems we just talked about. First, it ends duplication, creating what we call a single source of truth. Because of that, it can then guarantee consistency across the board. And once you have that, it provides super easy access using powerful tools. Finally, it protects the integrity of the data by enforcing rules to make sure everything stays accurate and reliable. Now, this all sounds fantastic, but how is a perfect library like this actually built and, used? Well, it all starts with a plan, a blueprint, and a special language you use to talk to the librarian, right? You wouldn't just start building a library by throwing shelves up randomly and hoping for the best. It's the exact same thing with a database. Before you even think about storing data, you need a solid design that maps out exactly how everything is going to be structured and connected. And here's the crucial part. This whole design process, it's not supposed to be some cryptic, super technical thing. Like this quote says, "The best blueprints are so clear that even someone who's not a tech expert, like a client, can look at it and totally get what's being built." So in the database world, that blueprint is called an entity relationship diagram, or an ER diagram. I know, it sounds a little complex, but it's really just a visual map. It shows you the main things you're tracking, the entities, like students or products, and then it just draws lines to show how they all relate to each other. Simple as that. Okay, so the library's designed, it's built, it's organized. Now, how do you actually ask the librarian to go find something for you? You need an efficient way to communicate, right? You can't just shout into the room and hope for the best. And the difference here is just night and day. Doing it manually means you're digging through folders, opening spreadsheets, scanning row after row. It's a pain. But with a language like SQL, you just state what you want. Find all students where leaves are less than 5. See the shift? You're not telling it how to find it, step by step. You're just describing the result you need. It's direct, it's powerful, and it is unbelievably fast. This all might seem a little abstract, but here's the thing. This digital librarian is working behind the scenes in almost every single part of your digital life. You probably interact with dozens of them every day and don't even realize it. Every single time you check your bank account, book a flight, scroll through your social media feed, or buy something online, a DBMS is right there. It's the silent, perfectly organized engine that's managing trillions of transactions and interactions all over the globe, every single second. So,
If there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that a database management system isn't just some niche tool for programmers. It is the foundational, invisible engine that makes our entire modern, data-driven world possible. It's the system that's constantly, quietly, turning chaos into clarity for all of us.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. As the amount of data in the world keeps exploding, creating these digital libraries of unimaginable size, what new tools and systems are we going to need to manage it all? And maybe more importantly, who are going to be the digital librarians of tomorrow?